Okay, it's probably going to look like shit because it's on automatic on everything, but we'll roll with it. Alright, so over here we have the first challenge. Inside here is a piece of paper that says that the first thing is a test of skill, land bullseye. When you come over here and open it up, you can see that the bullseye, there's a question taped here. I will be accompanying them through the whole thing, just in case anything goes wrong. I can be right there for it. And I'm not keeping an eye on the camera, so it went off level. That's okay. Once they land a bullseye, they will get the clue about Quasimodo, which is where did Quasimodo live. And of course, he left in the rafters of the bell tower, which I have labeled right there. And in the bell tower is a skeleton that is holding the pieces they need. So once they get those headlamps, again, they have 5 minutes before this light dies. They have 5 minutes before the light dies. And once they get the headlamps, they can proceed into the rest of the house. And the rest of the house is completely pitch black dark. But it will not be pitch black dark right now because we are still prepping. So into the next room. This area acts more as a hub. The office doesn't have anything going on in it. There is Mom. The kitchen only has one puzzle in it, and that is to get into the music room. The hub also connects to the movie room and the literature room, which is really dark. I will show you the puzzle to get into the music room, and I'll answer it once we get inside. So once we get inside, so the answer to the puzzle is Boris. It is a line from the Monster Mash song. So once we get in here, they will find manila envelopes, numbered 1, 2, and 3. I hope you could see that because I was not looking at the camera. So, inside the first envelope, they will find smaller envelopes and a question. Which is not aided by music and horror? The answers they can pick are tone, detail, and pace. Now, obviously, the correct answer is. But every one of these contains another question. Inside the question, the right question is, what is the threat inside Michael Jackson's Thriller? If we go over to folder 2, you will see werewolf, zombie, or the movie. The threat to Michael Jackson Thriller is movie, so in here contains the right question, which is actually a piece of sheet music that belongs to the movie Jaws, which is so bare bones and easy. It's just 2 notes. It's just ba 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 ba. And if they can't get that right, God help us all. But inside each one of these is sheet music as well. Each one of these questions that didn't mean that weren't the correct answer to that one also has a question that can be answered by one of these, such as what was Michael Jackson at the beginning of the music video? He was a werewolf. What was some of the creatures featured in the music video? Zombies. So if you get one question wrong, you kind of go down a path of answering wrong, 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 wrong. So that's how all the rooms will work. Inside there is the answers Jaws, or The Addams Family, or Psycho. Alright, I'm going to set the camera down for a quick second. I do not want to cut, because that means I have to edit, and I don't want to edit, because I'm already editing too many things. Alright, we're leaving this room. Kill the light. Make sure all the things are right. and seal it up. Now when we move on to the next room, we are going to be moving to movie room. What is the question for movie room? All right, I'll answer it once we get inside so that the contestant in the kitchen can't hear me. The answer is Nosferatu. Now, the movie room looks a little bit different, mostly because my camera gear's out, because I'm, kind of trying to make this as I go. And what we have here are some props, which I think are pretty cool for being in a movie. And we have our folders. Now we have folder 1 and folder 2. Inside folder 1, just the same way as in the music room, inside folder 1 is a question and envelopes. Inside each envelope is another question that can work for any one of the envelopes here. And inside these envelopes, ask a question about here. So the first envelope, the question is in space. Essentially it's a play on No One Can Hear You Scream in Space with leaving the place out. So the answers I have are asylum, tomb, and space. Of course, you open the space envelope in here. In there is written another question about when you're plagued by spirits, who do you summon? That's the correct question to move on to here. In here are an exorcist, Van Helsing, or the Ghostbusters. Obviously, Ghostbusters. So if you answer Ghostbusters correctly, you will open up that envelope that's inside here, and it will say, what weapon do you use to kill a werewolf? And your answers are a wooden stake, which, yes, it's not very pointy, but, this is the best I could find. Ruby knife, which actually is used by demon hunters to kill demons, which I learned trying to make this, which I thought was kind of funny. And finally, Colt Navy, loaded with silver bullets. Of course, silver bullets are going to kill werewolves. So the answer is there. You lift this up, you look underneath, we have a number. Now, in my rushed existence and trying to get this thing finished, I completely forgot to tell you about the final answer for the music room, which is also a 2-digit number. Each room is going to give you a 2-digit number answer. And I'm just looking at my notes real quick, and the music room answer is 75, and this one is 10. Now we have finished the movie room, and just like in the other room, each one of the answers from each one of the envelopes contain another question that can also be answered by any of the answers for the question. Therefore, everything kind of works together. Everything can be used for everything. It's the least amount of planning, or it's the most economic way to handle it. I can't think of the right word, but it makes use of everything without having to have too much. So we're done with this room. We're going to our final room, which is the which is the literature room, and we have a questionnaire. And we're not going to answer it outside, of course. We're going to come in here. The answer, of course, is Frankenstein, a Gothic novel that redefined horror written by Mary Shelley. Frankenstein. I feel like that should be pretty easy. In this room, we can see we have some Harry Potter books spread around. But we're not going to pay attention to that because we got our folders. And the first folder is a question. Inside that question is... cannot remember it off the top of my head. Yes. What ties H.P. Lovecraft and Stephen King novels together? Now, if they don't know H.P. Lovecraft, they should know Stephen King, which should help us a little bit. This one's a little tricky, and I may have been a little bit of a dick on it, but here we go. So we have a sinking city. We have cosmic and eldritch creatures. Can't remember how to pronounce it. And clowns. Now, clowns, obviously, with Stephen King, but not really any clowns in Lovecraft, so that's a bit of a toss-up. Sinking cities. I don't really remember any sinking cities in any of Stephen King's stuff, but cosmic and ethereal beings, it has two of them. The clown it is a cosmic and very Lovecraftian being, and so is the creature that helps the kids, is like a space turtle, I believe. So, cosmic beings. Inside cosmic beings, there's another question that leads us on to number 2. The question inside there is what is not the name of, what is the creature not called in Frankenstein? What is not a name for the creature in Frankenstein? Because the creature in Frankenstein actually has a lot of names. But inside the other ones, we have questions like what is a name used, or what is the creature made of? And in here, we have questions. We have answers for the questions. And inside these are instructions to do with the books. Now, the correct instruction, if they've answered all the questions correctly, the correct instruction should tell them to gather the books, assemble them in order, and then combine the letters that they find on the inside. If they've done it wrong, it will ask them how many books are in here, or which book out of the series is missing, and the answer to that is the third book. Prisoner of Azkaban is not in the room. It's only 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So, if they get the answer wrong, it'll either be 06 is the number they walk away from this room, or it'll be 03 is the number they walk away from this room. But if they did it right, and they assemble all the letters in the correct order, it will say ceiling fan. 97. So what do we do with this information? Well, all 3 of these numbers are required to leave. On the exit door is Morse code, a message in Morse code, and 6 dashes for numbers to go. The Morse code tells you let me go in here real quick again. Oh, this probably is going to give someone motion sickness. So, the 2-digit numbers from each room are assembled together in a certain pattern. If you haven't picked up on it yet, the 2-digit numbers are dates that correlate to the final question. When in a movie was a silver bullet used to kill a werewolf? In the movie Wolfman in 2010, when the final thing from the music room was 75, which is the year Jaws came out, and 97 is the first year that Harry Potter came out. Now, what is the correct order? They'll have to figure that out. Now, on each door has been a symbol underneath, and also to reinforce the symbol, all the folders have the symbol also. And you've probably seen it. It is a circle for music, triangle for film, and square for book. Essentially, the Morse code simply says square, circle, triangle, because that's the order. So, book, 97, circle, song, music, that's 75, and triangle, which is the final one, which is movies, and that's going to give you the code 97, 75, 10. That's what gets you out of the room. Why did it have to be this complicated? Because it's made for 9 people. So this is my way to try and keep them busy. Hopefully it works. Thank you, guys.